Welcome back to ML Art Life. I'm doing a little car chat today. I thought I might talk about recent things that have come up. So, the urge to push yourself in directions that seem struggly. This is kind of what came up for me recently, is this urge to push myself in directions that are struggles. I'm not talking about challenging yourself to do things. That's not what I mean. Because I think it is a good thing to challenge yourself. And often you surprise yourself in how you can accomplish something, especially creatively, when you challenge yourself. But that's not what I mean. I'm talking about, I kind of got in this direction of like pushing, trying to make something happen that wasn't really aligned for me. This has more to do with like my other YouTube channel. Hold on one second. I need to get a drink. And what I find happens a lot, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but when I'm out of alignment, I'm usually striving for something that is not part of my soul kind of calling or like my destiny in a sense. I was just listening to a video about the daimon, which is like what your soul is like kind of here to do, I guess. And I think we all have that. And I personally feel mine has been art for my entire life. Whether or not it's to be a successful paid artist, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about, but maybe it is. But to pursue the passion of art, to pursue the craft of art, to pursue my creativity. Why do people always find the need to pull up next to me? Anyway, it's one of my pet peeves. That's why I don't like filming in public, because I like to have my privacy. But what was I saying? Fucking train of thought. I wanted to talk about the daimon thing. So we all have this like call, I feel like, this pull to like pursue our dreams, to pursue the thing that was kind of given to you at birth, I would say. And this, I wouldn't even call it's a passion, but it's also a necessity in my life. Like, that's the thing. Art is a necessity to a lot of people. And when I say that, what I mean is it's the place where you feel the most like yourself. Most authentic to who you are is that state of creating. It's not that I'm Leonardo da Vinci, but it's that it's the most authentic place for me to express myself. In whatever shape or form that takes is what it is at the time. But recently, getting back to the original point, was that you get swayed off that path by whatever it is. Like, some people might say practicality or whatever. I felt this kind of like very intense striving feeling. And I realized I got lost down this striving path of trying to make things happen in my life that weren't happening. And then I had this kind of epiphany, like recently, that was, what comes the easiest to you? What is the thing in your life that comes the easiest? It's not always easy to get in the creative state, in the creative space where you're creating. It's the easiest, because I think sometimes too, when we get taken out of that too often, it's really hard to get back to. So I think it is very important to have a practice of creativity, like daily, to stay in that frequency, because that's kind of, it's like the juices are flowing creatively, and you're now, you're on that wave because you're fostering it. And that's a thing that I kind of throughout my life have gotten away from. And then I'll get motivated by like an art show or something that I'm doing that will get the creative juices flowing. But one of my desires is to not get taken off of it at all. Just keep in that flow and in that creative state, whether or not I feel inspired to do it, but just as a practice, almost like a meditation where you're like practicing your craft or practicing creativity, practicing creating all the time. What happened recently was this like striving feeling of like trying to force things to work in a different way that wasn't what I feel the universe came in and said, you're not doing your daimon. You're not living your soul aligned path. And so now we're going to make this thing you're trying to make happen struggly, because you need to start focusing on this thing, the thing that was given to you in this lifetime to pursue. Whether or not it's, you're going to be Leonardo da Vinci, that's not the point. I feel we always have the gift at a young age. I feel like that's just my feeling about it. Like, in our youth, we know who we are. It's our authentic self. And then over time and through programming and conditioning, we get taken out of that authentic self, and the world kind of gets its grip in us to make us not live into that authentic self. That's kind of what I've been thinking about lately, is like, what is the thing that comes easiest to me that is effortless? And it just flows because you're in this like state of creation. And so I started to like want to be posting more on this channel. I started to want to be creating more, creating art again. And then all of a sudden, immediately, once I like got back into it, now I'm like all inspired to make this new Western series that I just posted that short about. I have a time lapse that I worked some of the painting on. I was going to post that as well. I'm not finished editing it, but once I opened myself up to this realization that I wasn't living into my daimon, the floodgates opened now with this whole inspired series that I'm going to be doing. And this has happened to me many times in my life because I have multiple different series of art that I've worked on, like my sculptural 3D stuff, just 2D regular painting, but in different styles. Usually I'll get this like floodgate, like opening thing that will start to get me really going with, the next thing I'm supposed to do that I just feel inspired to make. So anyway, that was the point of this video, was what's your daimon like in your life? Is it creativity? Is it art? If you're watching this channel, if you're watching this video, it probably is. And what takes you out of that, first of all, like, why aren't we living into that daily, practicing that as if it's like essential to our lives? Because it actually is. It's one of the gifts that you were given in this lifetime. It's one of the things you were handed that came easily to you. Go with the ease. Go with the ease, go with the flow, instead of the resistance, instead of trying to like go down this road that isn't really, it's not the path of least resistance, is what I'm saying. And some people will say that builds character. Oh, you need to do hard things. And I do think that, yes, sometimes hard things build character, but that's not what I mean by this. What I mean is, what are your natural gifts? Because a lot of times we resist our natural gifts because we don't think they can be successful in the material world. That's really, I think, a bullshit lie, honestly, because I feel like there's ways to be successful in those gifts, even if it might not be like, you're selling to collectors or something. Like, it doesn't mean that you can't still have success. You could be pursuing those dreams and passions in a way that is successful, but maybe doesn't look like what we're taught it should look like, is what I'm saying. Like, Sotheby's bought your artwork and all these collectors are paying thousands of dollars. Like, that's what we think, like, in the art world, I feel like. And I find that actually, I find the art world pretentious as hell. I'll be honest with you. Like, I am not interested in the snooty frickin' bullshit of the snooty art world. That's not interesting to me. Like, I don't care about that at all. I don't care about getting in prestigious galleries and stuff like that. I want to live my passion life and find a way that it works for me, that's authentic for me. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. I don't need to impress some, collector. Like, that's not what I'm aiming for here in my life. I'm aiming for living authentically and expressing my creativity in the way that feels authentic for me and right for me and aligned for me. And so that's kind of what I'm just talking about in this video. I hope I made a good point here. I hope I made the point I was trying to make, which was practicing your creativity daily and not getting taken out of it by these hard roads we think we have to go down because they are the ways of success in the world, but rather leaning into your gifts, which come easily to you. The things that have always come easily to you, the things that always, were there in the background, kind of like there whispering behind your ear, like in the background of this is what you should be doing. But you're not listening to the voice because you think that it's not going to be successful in the world or you can't create something with that. That's the voice. And I'm going to see where it goes. Even if it's just creating daily, even if it's just feeling like that creativity is flowing, will be an immense relief for me because every time I'm in that state, I'm happy. I'm happier. And so that's what I wanted to share today, and I'll see you in the next one.